Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be going over some secret or lesser known tips to help you start a CD collection. So I grew up around CDs, my parents had them, and CDs were pretty popular in the 2000s, like 2000 through 2010. That's kind of how I got exposed to CDs when I was very young. So I've had CDs around my entire life, and then as I got older, around 2019 is when I started taking it seriously and I really then truly started my CD collection. And if I had known about some of these tips earlier, I think it would have made collecting CDs a lot easier for me. Over these last 5 years collecting CDs, I have uncovered some cool secrets that I can't wait to share, so let's get into it. When I first started, I had no idea about this, but because CDs are a form of physical media, some artists and bands do like to include exclusive bonus content only available on CD. For example, one of the very first CDs I ever got in my collection was 1989 by Taylor Swift. I actually used to be a fan of Taylor Swift. I used to like her music a lot, but at one point I did have 1989 in my collection, and I got the Target exclusive CD, and that one had special bonus cards like bonus Polaroids, and even now to this day, artists and bands still offer exclusive bonus content within their CDs. For example, the album Youngblood by 5 Seconds of Summer, that CD has a lot of special bonus tracks that are only available on CD. Specifically, the Target exclusive CD, that one has exclusive bonus songs. Some CDs have secret liner notes or booklets, and a lot of artists do sign CDs as well. So you can get a signed booklet or a signed art card coming straight from a CD that you can't get with streaming. I find it way easier to display signed booklets because those are only about 5 inches because CDs are obviously smaller than vinyl. I just have a hard time finding a place to display a big 12-inch signed art card from a vinyl, so that is something to keep in mind. But I really love collecting CDs because a lot of the CDs I have exclusive bonus songs or special signed booklets that come with them. A lot of beginners may not know where to buy CDs. You can buy CDs pretty much anywhere. A lot of retail stores do sell CDs like Target and Walmart, depending on where you live, and then you can also just search for them online and have them shipped, places like eBay, Amazon, or an artist merch store, of course. But one of the secrets I discovered is where to get CDs for cheap. I've had really good luck finding good deals on CDs on eBay, Amazon, Depop, and Mercari. Those are all like reseller sites. Amazon does have an Amazon marketplace where you can buy things cheaper if they are used. And I've seen a lot of people online go to thrift shops and flea markets to find really good deals on CDs. That's where people usually sell them for really cheap, like $1 or $2 per CD. Things like flea markets and garage sales, people are just looking to get rid of stuff, especially if they have a big bulk of CDs, then they usually sell them for like $1 or $2. They're not that expensive at all. So again, going to flea markets or swap meets or garage sales are a really good place to find cheap CDs. Same thing for secondhand shops or vintage stores. Goodwill is another great option as well. That's a thrift store and they usually have a bunch of CDs for like 99 cents. And just by having a CD collection, I think you are already saving money compared to vinyl. Because CDs are obviously much smaller than vinyl, they're usually a lot cheaper. New CDs are anywhere from $10 to $20 that I've seen on average, and vinyl is like double that. From my personal experience, I've noticed that there is a wider range of music, a much bigger selection of music on CDs available to purchase. I have seen way more songs and albums available on CDs compared to vinyl and sometimes even streaming. What I mean by that is there are a lot of songs and albums that I really love and I would love to have on physical media, but they are not pressed onto vinyl. Some examples would be a few albums from the Chainsmokers like Sick Boy and World War Joy. Those albums are not pressed onto vinyl, but they are available on CD, and I love collecting physical media. I want to have at least one CD or vinyl from all of my favorite albums. I can always stream them, but I also like to have a physical copy of my favorite albums too. There are some bands and artists that just don't even bother pressing their music onto vinyl. There's a number of different reasons, but I think CDs are a lot cheaper and easier to produce, and so that's why they will release their music onto CDs instead of vinyl. Even when I'm going to record stores or thrift stores like Goodwill, I always find a much much wider selection of CDs that I'm interested in compared to vinyl, especially at Goodwill. A lot of the vinyl that I see at Goodwill I'm just not interested in, but when I was shopping at Goodwill I did see a lot of CDs that I recognized. Also when I'm at record stores or even Barnes & Nobles too, I've had this experience of just finding a lot better stuff in the CD section compared to the vinyl, and that just depends on your personal taste and what music you want to listen to and the music you want to buy on CDs. This is probably my favorite secret tip in the entire video. You can easily make your own CDs at home. I think this was definitely easier like 10 years ago, but you can burn your own CDs at home, and that is something you cannot do with vinyl. You can't have your own vinyl pressing plant inside of your house. To get music pressed onto vinyl, you would definitely have to go to some kind of website or third-party manufacturer, but it's really expensive and it's a much longer process. But with CDs, you can burn your own music at home. I used to do that a ton when I was younger. My dad always had a stack of blank CDs, and so whenever I wanted to create my own CDs, I could do it. My old computer did have a CD player, it had a CD port, but I recently upgraded my computer. I got a new one, and my new computer does not have a CD player. There is no CD port. I cannot put a CD into it, which is so sad because now I have to find other ways to burn my music onto CDs. But if you do have the computer or a laptop or the technology to do it at home still in 2024, you can make your own CDs. So as I was saying, I think it's really fun and easy to put your favorite albums or playlists or mixtapes right onto CDs. You can even buy CD jewel cases for really cheap. I even like buying my favorite albums on CD so that I can make my own digital copy. Every album that I buy on CD, I will rip it to my computer. I will download all of the songs onto my computer so that I have the MP3s, so I don't have to buy a digital copy of the album. I can have the CD and enjoy the physical copy of it, and then if I want to stream it, I can just download the MP3s straight from the CD and keep that as well, so I have it physically and digitally. To kind of piggyback on what I was just saying, I think you definitely save money owning a CD. You save a lot of money owning the music forever compared to streaming. You can think of streaming as like renting. You're paying a monthly price to have that music and you don't even really own it, you're just renting it. As soon as you cancel your subscription or you stop paying, you lose all of that music. So that's why I always suggest to collect your favorite albums on CD, even if you have a subscription to Spotify or Apple Music or something like that. So that way you also own a physical copy. You can always take the CDs and download the music into MP3s so that you do have it digitally. Music on streaming platforms or on YouTube always has a chance of not being there one day. One day there might be a licensing issue or a copyright issue and songs will be taken down from YouTube or streaming platforms. You pay for CDs one time. It's usually on average maybe $10 to $15 for a brand new CD, and of course older or used CDs are probably only a few dollars, but you pay for that album one time and then you own it. Whereas with streaming, you're paying like maybe $10, $15 a month for that music. So you do end up spending a lot more money streaming, especially on a yearly basis. You spend a lot more money streaming than you do buying the individual CDs physically. I've learned so many tips about handling and storing CDs that I think give CDs the edge over vinyl. CDs are definitely not as fragile as vinyl. A jewel case on a CD is way more protective than a jacket on a vinyl record. The jewel case does a really good job at protecting CDs. I really love that the jewel cases are easily replaceable. You can also store CDs in a long vertical line or a long tall horizontal stack. There really aren't any rules when it comes to storing CDs because they are in a jewel case. There are a lot of rules you have to follow if you want to keep your vinyl in good condition. But with CDs, you can store them however you want. You can get really creative with your setup and displays, so I really like that about CDs. The last tip I want to mention is that you should definitely start a Discogs account if you haven't already. I got onto Discogs way late in the game. I already had collected CDs and vinyl for a number of years before I even knew about Discogs, so that's why I try to talk about it a lot. So in case you don't know, if you are a beginner, then this will help you out. So Discogs is a website and they also have an app. They have a massive database of almost every single CD, cassette, and vinyl pressing. You can search for any CD. You can type it in yourself, or they do have an an option if you have your phone and the app. You can scan a barcode, then it will automatically bring up that specific pressing or release, which is so helpful. You can also add your own collection to Discogs. It took me a few years to do this, but I eventually added my entire CD and vinyl collection to Discogs, and it's been so helpful so I can keep track of what I have. When you search up a CD, you can also check all of the different versions and releases of that CD. One of my favorite features is the want list. You can add any CD you've ever wanted to your want list and keep track of it. There's also a marketplace, so you can buy and sell CDs right through Discogs. And if you have CDs added to your want list, Discogs will let you know when a new listing is posted so that you can maybe go and buy it if you think it's a good deal. And because Discogs has a marketplace, it's also a good place to check the value of a CD. It's not always going to be 100% accurate, I think, but it's a good estimated value of how much your CDs are worth or how much your collection is worth in general. Get started using Discogs from day one because unlike me, I started way late in the game. Then it took me hours to add all of my stuff to Discogs. Overall, I think Discogs just has so many amazing features. I think it's the best database type of platform for physical media out there. If you are new to collecting CDs and you haven't heard of Discogs before, I would recommend setting up your account. So those were all of my tips for beginners, a little bit of a secret beginner's guide to CD collecting. I wanted to make a video just based off of my own experience and some of my own secret tips that I have discovered that not a lot of other people, or maybe nobody at all, has mentioned on YouTube before. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. In the comments, let me know if you are a beginner to collecting CDs. Let me know if these tips helped you and if you're going to implement these tips when you're collecting CDs. If you already have a CD collection and you have any tips you would like to share, maybe I missed something, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!